Tick, 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 tick. There we go. Woof.
Woof.
A lot of silly noises tonight.
I expect a lot of shouting because there's going to be some Melchett impressions and some Brian Blessed impressions at some point. So,
yes, they've got the two shouters, haven't we?
We have, exactly.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because... Right, well, let's have a look if I bring that up. Right, so there we go. Yeah. So we are talking the Blackadder. Or is it Blackadder? Which one is it? Blackadder or Blackadder? Both?
It's the Blackadder. It's Blackadder the second, Blackadder the third, Blackadder goes fourth, Blackadder goes back and forth, the Christmas special, and also the Cavalier years. So there's quite a few versions of the Blackadder.
There is.
This is like the 80s show that wasn't set in the 80s, was it?
That's exactly right. Well done. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I guess all the other ones have been set in their time.
Yeah. But this was made in the 80s. There he is.
Bob.
Bob. Nice to meet you, Bob.
Bob. Sure not a girl. Bob. I expect to see plenty of quotes in the comments.
There'll be many quotes. Yes, I can quote this show back to front. You know, I know it so well. I've watched it so many times. It is possibly one of the greatest sitcoms ever made, if not the greatest. You know, that's still debatable, but it's very hard to top, you know, how good each series is. Even though the first one has some flaws, but there's a lot to like about the first one.
Okay, yes. Yeah, there is stuff like it, because I haven't watched it for a very long time because it's not my favorite, but I did chuckle a few times, I must admit. We got Rick Kid 72. Judging by that, I'm guessing you were born in 72, so you'll be a fan of this, especially. Turn around, yes. This time, no, a bit later than this next week, for my birthday bash, me and Rob are going to be singing Total Eclipse of the Heart in a duet, so without music. And many others. But before we start with Blackadder season 1,
yes.
Well, did you get to watch the Lost Pilot?
I did, yes. Thanks for the link. Yeah, thanks for the link. I don't know why BBC didn't show it. And, I didn't say what link, but, you know, you said But it baffles me that the BBC didn't actually show this. It was on Gold, which is, you know, obviously not on everyone's subscription. So, yeah, very baffling. Either the BBC didn't want to show it, or I don't know what the reason was, why it was made available for everyone, really.
I think it's physically available, isn't it, now?
It possibly is. I mean, it's not on any of the DVD sets. There are some clips of it, particularly on the box set behind me. There is some clips of it in retrospectives. They briefly talk about it, but it was recently shown in full for the first time. Yes.
Yeah, because that special I sent was the first half hour talking about it, and then they actually show the actual clip.
Yeah.
Richard Curtis wrote it with Rowan back in very early 80s, I guess. Because
2 or something, yes.
Yeah, because the first season, like 81, 82, isn't it? And then he forgot about it for 30 years or something. 40 years now.
It's one of those very sort of versions of a pilot that obviously they felt didn't work, and then they had to sort of, you know, change a lot, which does happen with a lot of shows. There are a lot of shows that don't get the original pilots made. I think Buffy's got one, and there's probably tons of other sitcoms that have, you know, got these unaired pilots where they saw what it was and thought, maybe this doesn't work, we need to change this, we need to change that. But the fact that it was unavailable for this amount of time it's quite extraordinary, really.
Yeah, and then Ben Elton only found out about it in that documentary, or before the documentary about it exists. Because it wasn't bad. I did enjoy it.
It is very different to what we got in that first series. You do see Rowan playing, you know, Edmund Blackadder as he does throughout 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
In the first series, he becomes a bit of a bumbling idiot. That's what we got in the first series. But in this first version of the pilot, you do see that coming through already. And, you know, Tim McInerney was in there, and someone else was playing Baldrick, not Tony.
Yeah, different Baldrick.
And I think the woman who played the Queen, she was still in there. And I think his brother was still in there as well. The other prince. But the king was played by someone different. He was in Coronation Street or something, that actor. I can't remember.
Him,
Yes.
Because who is the king in the season 1?
Well, originally it was Peter Cook.
That's right. I was going to say, who was probably quite big at that time, so they were lucky to get him.
Yes, he was still going strong. He was a comedy, you know, heavyweight at that point. Yeah. Yeah, and then he got his head cut off.
Spoilers. But then is it Blessed?
Blessed then, because
Blessed.
He's the in waiting. That guy was born to play that role. I mean, my goodness. I mean, just his body and his mannerisms. It's almost as if they got him from the 1400s and just brought him into the 80s. I mean,
he is great in everything, isn't he?
He's one of the highlights of that first series. I mean, for all its faults, Brian Blessed was really a starring light in that. He really was.
Yeah.
Yeah. My goodness.
Because the big difference with that is that it was filmed outside mostly.
Yes, it was. It was filmed at Northumberland Castle, I believe.
Yeah. Which is an awesome castle, but they filmed it in winter, which was in February, I think it was, and it was snowing a lot. And
but a lot of it was, sort of on location, and the studio sets were much more lavish. The costumes were more lavish. The budget was bigger. But at the time, there were a lot of people that found it quite dull, to be honest. No one really found it funny, and it got quite panned originally.
Yeah, it wasn't popular at all. No one was enjoying it, and then I can see it because I've never enjoyed it. I think I remember it being on, and not watching it as much because, a Weasley dim-witted Blackadder is not what you want.
It's kind of the one that doesn't really get rerun very often. Like normally BBC do rerun 2, 3, and 4, but they don't normally rerun that first one very often. It's still on iPlayer. You can watch it on there, but I don't recall it being rerun very much on television, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, well, his haircut doesn't help, does it?
It doesn't. I think that was probably intentional to make him look ridiculous,
Yeah. That works.
Yeah, with the funny slippers and the codpiece and the dim-witted voice and all that. It's a very weird looking Blackadder compared to what we got later on, which was the definitive version.
Yeah, well, they're all 15 certificates. Yeah, they all are, apart from the specials.
Yes.
But I'm guessing with the decapitation of Peter Cook in this one, which was quite funny.
Yeah, and the fact that everyone dies right at the end, it's like there's so much bloodshed, albeit in a comedy way, that like there is a lot of death. Characters don't last.
But because this is the missing pilot has a similar story to one of these. I can't remember the name of it, where they try to kill a Scotsman.
Yeah,
but then realize he doesn't want to kill him, but then he ends up killing him, and
that does
hilarity ensues.
Yeah, that does sort of clarify into an episode later on. There are little snippets of it, and also the dislike of Morris dancers as well is they're
not wrong with that one.
Yeah,
and always about eunuchs. But Rick Mail, I forgot that Rick Mail was in it.
Yes, Mad Gerald. Who'd have thought that character would be the great ancestor of Lord Flashheart? I mean, just
exactly.
A complete madman with no teeth, and he's been locked in his cellar for like 20 years. He hasn't heard any certain words for 20 years. Again, that's another highlight. Rick's brief appearance in that first series. My God, it's so funny. He's like in this cell with Mr. Rat, and he's made Mr. Key out of his own teeth. I mean, it's just
that was a highlight. Luckily, they saved the best for last.
They did, yes, that final episode, yeah. Wow.
But another couple that in later series is Miriam Margolyes.
Yes, she's the Queen of Spain, yes.
Yeah.
Again, another highlight, yes. I mean, when she shows up with Jib Broadbent, who's an interpreter, and saying, what does hey like in bed? I don't know what Jib was doing with that accent. It was really weird.
Yeah, I couldn't place it.
But Miriam is, she's such a talent, and she shows up later in the second series as Lady Whiteadder. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like a thingy. We'll get to that.
Yes.
But so I must admit I did enjoy it more, but it's still not one I'm gonna rush to watch again.
Yeah, it's not perfect. It's not really for the laughs, really. It's really about the set designs, the costumes, the actors on stage, like giving in some very good performances. But in terms of like an actual comedy, it's not very funny.
I think with the pilot.
Yeah.
Where there's too many people.
Yes, and having sort of Rowan be the more dimwit and having Baldrick be the normal one, obviously the roles would be reversed later on because like Tony and Tim didn't really have much to do in that first series. They're kind of just there,
Yeah, they're just occasionally there to get in the way of him when he's trying to do something.
Pretty much, and then from then on, Baldric and Percy would then sort of become the more of the dimwits, and Blackadder would rise above them, and these were like his two sort of peasants that he had to hang around with.
Yeah. Rob says we're going to kill it singing. We might kill people singing. This series called me the slack lad and a bald prick. Oh, I thought we were going to keep it clean tonight, but no.
Ain't going to happen.
Good evening, Jay.
Good
evening. Right, I'm going to open my special can of Miami Twice.
Miami Twice, yeah.
This is, what do you got?
Mango Pepsi Max.
Mango.
The new flavour, yeah. I don't mind it. It's actually quite refreshing, so yeah.
I always at odds with the flavour. I like them on and off. Like first sip I like, second sip I won't like. And then it's on and off whether I'll drink it. But some of them are quite chemically. But this, I don't know, what is this? Double dry hopped tropical pale ale. So we'll see how this goes down. Last ones have gone down a treat. Right, let's go on to the better series then.
Yes.
So here we go. Episode Blackadder 2. There's no years on these unless my eyes deceive me. This one says 98, so that's the VHS. A proper person would have details, but never mind.
Yeah, there was a bit of a gap between that first series and the second series because clearly, I think the head of comedy or the head of BBC at that point was Michael Grade. He's very famous in television, and he was saying, the ratings were bad. It cost too much. Why do we want to do another one? We're not doing it. And then, Richard Curtis, the writer, Rowan, I think his representation as well, and then Ben Elton was brought in. They thought if we can sort of, get rid of the costumes and sort of, bring it down to a more lower budget, put it back into a studio in front of a live audience, like a proper should be, slash the budget, and we can sort of condense it a bit more and alter a few characters that we think didn't work here, and we think we can improve them here. And then as a result, we got the second series, which was, it was unbelievably good. Yeah. And bring in a few more people as well. Yeah.
I think my favorite quote is, just a wild stab in the dark, which is incidentally what you're going to get if you don't tell me what I want to know. Oh, hang on. This has to be addressed. What's this? He just called in to say hi and he hates Blackadder. Well, I knew. I knew he was.
Cut your head off now.
Off you go. Off the soddery. Because this is when it came into its own. So who's the main cast now? Tony Robertson as Baldric. Brian Blessed is the wrong one. Tim McInnery as Lord Percy.
Yep.
With his purest green. I do love that one.
Love that scene. Oh my goodness.
Does alchemy in like 4 hours or whatever it is, but it's green. I've seen pictures of him when he goes to like conventions and stuff, and people are holding something
really
they've made to give him. Miranda Richardson.
Miranda Richardson, yes. Yeah.
And Stephen Fry as Lord Melchett, and Patsy Byrne as Nursey.
Yeah.
So, because they all auditioned about 40 Queenies, and Miranda Richardson was one of the last, and came in looking all bedraggled and unkept, and then wowed them with her portrayal because they were looking for someone that could be all girly and stuff, but what she did was on another level apparently. Yeah,
Miranda said she sort of borrowed this sort of thing that her and her flatmate used to do when they were in drama school, where they would like just do silly little girl voices and sort of just say stuff, and she thought, well, I'll use this for the Queen and sort of treat her as someone like too much too early, a young girl that's been given too much power.
Yeah,
and the fact that she hasn't really matured, and she has that with. Oh man, just she goes so many ways. Like she can be very angry, very happy, very jolly. Then all of a sudden she'll say, "I'm going to cut your head off if you're not careful." So.
Yeah, she says, "One day I'm going to order your execution just so I can see the look on your face." Oh, hate's a strong word, I suppose. Yeah, it's a bit strong to hate Blackadder.
Yeah, not your favorite.
The first episode is it? Bells is with Rick Mail as Lord Flashheart. Woof,
woof! Just what a performance! He just comes in out of nowhere, and full credit to the actress who plays Bob. I forget her name. Gabrielle. What's her name?
Yeah, it's not down on you.
Kate. And disguising herself as a boy to try and, you know, improve her life. And then Flash just comes in and steals the bride. And
yeah. She likes the taste of a man's tonsils.
And I just love that scene when Rick does come in. They all sort of stand back and just give him the scene, and he just goes off on all of them. And, you know, and full credit to Tim for taking a headbutt through the door.
Yeah, you got to be careful. I'm surprised they allowed that.
You do feel for poor Percy sometimes, yeah.
The best man, and he's in your place. A bridesmaid with a beard. Gives me something to hang on to.
So many great lines, yeah. It's a great way. It's a great way to start it off. It really is, yeah. It's so quotable. Watched it so many times, yeah.
But yeah, he what was he in the documentary? He said that he had the 3 rounds of applause or cheers more than anyone.
Yeah,
when he was filming it.
I want more than Rowan. He said, "Yeah, I want more cheers, more laughs than Rowan." You know, Rick's ego must have been through the roof to do that.
Well, it is, because as soon as he's in, Rowan's straight to the back and hiding, and
yes.
Right. Hang on. Rosso, good evening. Her performance as Queenie is amazing. The way she would react to something that surprised you. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Full credit to Miranda Richardson, one of the actresses we've got in this country. Like everything she's been in has always been stellar. Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah. Great talent.
So yeah, the first episode is the wedding one, where he marries a boy.
Bob.
Second one, he's in charge of religious genocide and is the Lord High Executioner, and finds himself in a spot of bother when Lord Pharaoh's they want a weekend off, so they kill him on the Friday, but he's Queens decide to let him off. More fun with a green head and faking who's dead. I do like that one. Potato, because that's got the guest star again, Tom Baker. If you can't get Brian Blessed.
Yes, yeah. Because I heard that they wanted Brian back for like one-off parts, but he was just never available to come back for any of the other series. Yeah, from what I've heard. Yeah.
But he doesn't have a woman's behind. But yeah, the plan was good to just sail around the Isle of Wight for a few months and come back, but didn't work out because they ended up in a real cannibal situation, and all the survivors is beard and some lovely drink.
Yes.
And then a supply of wine.
Yes.
But yeah, like Ross says, season 2 and 4, 3 had some great moments. Yeah, Atkinson looked like he loved the role in season 2. He really keeps on his servant in that one. Well, yes, because Tim McKinnon is rough. This is all the fashion these days.
Yes, really, Percy looked like a bird who swallowed a plate. Yeah.
So this is the first season that Rowan wasn't writing, but Ben Arnoldson came in.
Yes, he was brought in. Yes,
because he knew Richard Curtis and Rowan from the university years.
Yep.
So they sort of definitely went up a bit, but apparently when they wrote it, was it I forget his name, Richard Curtis, who did all those romantic comedies from the 90s.
Oh yes,
Notting Hill and Four Weddings and such.
Weddings, yes, yep.
So he would they would write separately. So him and Ben Allen would write 3 episodes, then swap over, and then write another 3 episodes following on what the other one had written and swap stuff around.
Yeah, it's common for writers who sort of have to work together. It's common that they do that. I know the League of Gentlemen would do that sometimes. They would go off in twos, like 2 would go here, 2 would go there. They'd write and then they would sort of swap over and then try and fit it all together. It is a common way of writing, It
is, It seems to work, isn't it? Because apparently when they couldn't do it together, because they just talk about anything but Blackadder.
Easily distracted, yeah.
Apparently they went to was it Kylie Minogue when she was first touring back in the 80s?
Yeah.
They went to her concert, and they were the only two men there, really. All the rest were kids and their mums who were fan of Neighbours.
That's it, yeah. Yeah, I think you're referring to the Blackadder Rides Again, which is the retrospective.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is on this box set here. It is available on that one, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that. What do you got?
Yeah, this is like the pretty much where it says the Ultimate Edition, and it pretty much is. Like every season is on here. Yeah, series 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's got the 60-minute documentary. There's also Costume Revisited with Miranda and Patsy, Tony and Tim. There's some audio commentaries on here, and there's a few more interviews, plus the Christmas Carol, plus the comic relief special, The Cavalier Years, Back and Forth, which was the Millennium Special, and also Baldrick's Video Diary, which is like the making of the Millennium Special. And I think this was released a number of times. There were a number of box sets that looked a bit different to this. I think one of them was like a brown book. It was like a bit of a bulky set, and it had like all the DVDs separate pages to look like a book. And I think there might have been another one that was black, but I can't find these. And then BBC released, in a sort of standard case, but all the extras and all the episodes are on here. And easily available, and probably the best way to keep it. And it's a nice sort of slim case, so it doesn't sort of take up too much space on the shelf.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's always been available. I mean, it's always been on VHS. It's always been on DVD. It's always been rerun. It even made it to Laserdisc, believe it or not.
Really? Okay.
It did, yes. In the UK, it was by I forget the company's name. They had an E for their logo. Urist, I think it was called, or yeah. And they did release all 4 series, so it made all formats, believe it or not.
Have you got? I guess you don't have the Laserdisc.
I'm still looking for them. I wouldn't mind having them, but it's not essential. But if I can find them for a good price, I might track them down. So yeah, just for pure collector's sake. Yeah, yeah. But I do remember seeing like the VHS volumes that you've got. I've seen them like everywhere. I remember even our local video shop had them as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's terrible double cases which always fall apart.
Yeah, the big
broken.
Cases. Yeah,
I got the original ones as well, but I didn't bring them down.
Yeah, sometimes it was like 3 episodes on one tape, and then the next 3 episodes on another tape, and then the double cases as well, and then
cheap plastic.
There we go.
Hey, can't beat a classic 80s series. No, you cannot. Welcome, Luke.
Yeah,
thanks for joining us.
The real timeless one. This,
yeah. Richard Curtis said the series was grim to make. Well, yes, if you see when they did rehearsals, they would change stuff, and people would get upset about what's changed or what didn't like the change, and they went with it. But yeah, typical writers and actors stuff.
Pretty much, yeah. I've heard that many of the actors have said that Hugh was, while he was great performing, he was always very self-critical and always saying, "Oh, I'm no good. I'm not funny. I'm not funny." And Tony said this on one of the documentaries. I think it was on a different one, not on this box set. I think there was another documentary, and he said that they must hate him over in America when he was doing House. If he was like that when we were filming Blackadder, what is he doing over there?
Yeah, because on that documentary, he's in the middle of House making House.
Yeah.
And then the biggest series at the time, and then
it was great series. Yeah,
he was doubting himself for this back 20 years ago. So
yeah.
Hello, Echo. How are you? I was just watching Echo's Shark and Saw Prison Massacre, I think it's called. But he's just done a review of that because he's doing Sharks this month, which is always a favourite of mine. So, right, where do we get to? Money. Oh, we did Tom Baker, yeah. Poor Nursey was going to get a friend, but he got eaten. The baby eating bishop of Bath and Wells drops in to stick a red hot poker where a cotton bud would be kinder.
Yes.
But yeah, that's I am the baby. The baby eating bishop. I think he's played by the same bloke that was the Nazi with the glasses and the.
Oh yes, Ronald Macy.
That's him.
Yes, it was him. Yes, yeah.
I've never noticed. I don't know why I look at the thing. I had his picture as the Nazi, and
I
thought, oh, bloody hell! He has a lot of padding.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm old, but the good news, I had the first DVD releases from the early years when BBC Worldwide first put them out. I'm not keen on the 4th installment, though.
Interesting. Okay.
It's usually most people's favourite.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best episodes when Blackadder gets carried away and he says he will travel the 7 seas. The scene in the pub with the party. Yeah, that's good old Tom Baker.
Mm-hmm.
That was, yeah. I guess when I looked at his work, it's mostly TV stuff he's done, but yeah, not much after Doctor Who and Sinbad.
Yep.
Are there any UK shark movies? That's a good point, and I don't think so because
I've never seen any.
It would make sense, but no, I can't think of any. I don't. And then the pirate guy bursts in front of the Queen, absolutely tears Blackadder a new one.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So Walter Raleigh, isn't it? I'll wager. He's Doctor Impossible likes the second season. Yeah, certainly great.
They did hit the mark. They found the right sort of medium and went with it. And yeah,
really small set. There's only two or three sets, isn't there, in the whole series?
Yeah, you got the throne room, and then the corridor for that throne room, and then you got Blackadder's house, and then I think that was it. And there might be some other corridors to the castle. I think that might have been it. And that was it.
The occasional redress or something of something, but because Blackadder's bedroom, I guess, for the what poor Percy gets up to with the bishop. It's like a painting of him. It's like that couldn't be faked or things like that. What's that? Then there's Beer, which is with Marion Magos with Lady Whiteadder.
Yes. And that's when Hugh shows up at the time. Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, he shows up as one of Blackadder's sort of mates in that group of three, and
sounds a bit rude.
Yeah. And it's just basically them just going hurrah the whole time. They're just like
wearing fake breasts.
Yes.
Yeah, because this is the first season with Stephen Fry, isn't it? Yeah, so
Lord Melchett, yes.
Lord Melchett, yeah. Because did you see in the documentary he was in that African town or something that he owns? I don't know if he was joking about that, but
I don't know if he was or not, but I'm guessing he might have a holiday home. I'm guessing that's probably where.
It looked very nice.
Yeah, maybe it was some sort of investment he did or something. I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, he bought a town in Africa and did it up. So, but apparently, because everyone's Baldric and everyone's obsessed with turnips, so that's because they look like thingies.
Yes.
But a turnip doesn't look like a thingy, does it?
Not really, no.
No, because apparently, was it Ben Elton got confused between a turnip and a parsnip. So when he was going to say parsnips, because they're like a thingy, but yeah, he put turnips, so which is obviously not like a thing, unless mine's different. Let's have a look. Hey, Echo. I remember there was a channel in the US, part in my US, that would air Red Dwarf and some of Blackadder, but it didn't catch on like Red Dwarf did. Yeah, I guess.
Probably not. No,
Red Dwarf is scientific, sci-fi, and comedy, isn't it? Where this is a lot of history, English history.
British history is not going to sort of resonate with other nations or sort of other regions. I mean, some might appreciate it, but they did sort of set this, clearly in the UK, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or basically London. I think the majority of the episodes were, but yeah.
Yeah, because I think even the first one's supposed to be Londonish.
Even though it was Northumberland. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long way.
Yeah.
To visit. Potatoes, a nice episode. Off to the New World. Yeah. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one again. They all look the same, these boxes. Yeah. Ideally, yeah, it's a good one. Off to the New World. Yeah. And then brings back a stick. But I would throw away a stick. I don't want it to come back. The one where Blackadder pretends to be a man who's to be exited. Yeah, who's only got one arm and one leg and speaks with a lisp.
Yeah.
was a foot taller.
Yes. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. See the little pixie. Everyone knows Blackadder can't hold his drink. Howard Goodall, yes, composed a good theme because he's done it since the pilot. Unaired pilot, he did that, and then
four completely different versions of it. Yeah,
and all on well, because it was it a keyboard and electric guitar for Blackadder 2, and an oboe and harpsichord for season 3, and then a brass band.
Yeah, the military band, doing the 4th one, and also he did sing the lyrics in the 2nd one with that very high pitched voice. Yes.
Yeah, because at the end of the second episode, every episode is different at the end. Credits.
Yeah, you do hear him say sort of, Lord Melchett, or you hear Lord Flashheart.
Yeah.
I mean, I could try the high pitch, but it might be too. I don't know if I can. Lord Flashheart. Yes,
that's it. Ow, my freaking ears.
Yeah,
but yeah, he was good at that. Yeah, and like he sang it in and the guy just acted it in the garden, because that was the only bit that was outside footage.
Yeah, and also the footage of Rowan and Gabrielle together with sort of hanging around. Yeah,
and the bird and
and I think that was filmed at the same time. I think just to sort of
so
he didn't
the same house.
Yeah.
Right, what was the last episode? I keep forgetting. The last episode's got Hugh Laurie as Ludwig.
Yes, as Ludwig, yes. So he appeared as like a drunken lout, and then he comes back as the main villain the next week.
Yeah, excuse me, Meester. Yes, Edmund and Melchett get kidnapped by a German. A fatted German chamber pot, sorry. Testiculos. But yeah, they escape and kill him because he dresses as an nurse, he dresses as a cow. But he's too convincing. But then, so he gets stabbed when he's dressed as a cow. Yeah. Then he comes back and becomes queen.
Yeah, yeah.
Not Flossie. Yes. I was that sheep.
And this became the trend, as if to say that, at the end of each series, they're all going to die at some point, or, they might not make it. Yeah. Which,
because they're all killed at the first, in the first season.
by the poisoned wine. Literally everybody dies, yeah. So I like how they do sort of
ending.
They go, and then they go, and then, and then they sort of just do a wiggle like that, and then they're all dead. Yeah.
Yeah. Quick reaction and then dead.
I just love that scene when literally the whole room takes it, and you got Blessed and the whole cast just they all just do the same thing. It's just so silly.
See, if I get to the comments, Doctor Impossible tell me. There you go. Yeah, quite a lift up from Toit. That's it in Raiders.
Yeah.
But yeah, always remember the baby eating Bishop of Bath and Wells.
Can you forget a name like
that? Right, where are we?
Yeah,
let's go for the third season now. Blackadder, the third. So everything's changed around. Where Hugh Laurie's the main cast now.
Yes,
the Prince Regent. Stephen Fry's only in one episode.
Duke of Wellington. Yeah.
Amanda Richardson's not in it.
She appears in the 5th episode. Yeah.
Yeah, which one's she in? Oh, she's the highway person.
Highwayman, yeah. The cross-dresser, apparently, yeah. Is she a dude or is she a woman? We don't know. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. Because it's... So, yeah, she comes back. I'm trying to think of who else. There's no special guest list on this one.
And Tim only appears in one episode as well.
That's it. Because, he didn't want to be playing an idiot because he didn't want to get typecast. Someone that just plays idiot.
Yeah, he didn't want to do Percy anymore. I think he'd sort of done as much as he could with Percy, and you can understand that, and that's why
I can definitely understand
the 4th series. He thought, I'll come back for the 4th one unless you completely change my character. I don't want to be Percy anymore. Yeah, which you can understand.
Yeah, definitely understand that, because in this one was he French?
French, yeah.
So he's acting all Frenchy as you expect. Yeah, who is it?
Yeah, it's him and Nigel Planer.
That's it. Yeah. So there's 3 of the young ones in this series.
Yes.
So then we get the first episode is it says set in England 1760 to 1850. 15, sorry. So the first one is never mind. Dish and Dishonesty.
Yes.
So but it's got because the Prince Regent, who's pretty close story. Apparently, the real Prince Regent, when he did take over from King George, did just live the life of luxury and take all the taxes while all the peasants starved. So
yeah, it is well documented that he was a bit of an idiot. You know, it's if you find any sort of books about it, he was a dimwit. You know, it's all there.
So
yeah. Mm.
And apparently, I think this is the only season Blackadder doesn't have facial hair, and
yes.
then that's because Rowan's girlfriend at the time didn't like it, so he
didn't like it. No, yeah.
And the other thing is they didn't give Rowan makeup like they would have worn in those days because
yes,
they said he was clever enough just to bathe every day.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And there is one line from that episode that I absolutely love when George makes Baldric a lord, and just Blackadder's pure displeasure of seeing it, and he says, "You made Baldric a lord." Oh, yes. The delivery of him saying Baldric is just like, oh,
yes, he's so cool. And then the coat he's got is made of cats. They've just got collar buttons. But then when he takes Baldric away, he lifts it up like a vampire.
Yes. Yeah.
Spending because what's the first episode now?
Addition Dishonesty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is the first one where he goes into the House of Lords.
Yeah.
I can remember because there's no real order to the stories. I can't remember which one's which. So there's that one where Baldric gets in the House of Lords, and was it Pitt the Younger?
Yeah.
Why
the Prime Minister's like 13 years old, isn't he, or something? Yes.
Which is based on the truth, isn't it? I was never really good at history, but
no, me neither.
So then we get to Ink and Incompatibility.
My goodness, this one is
Wales omelette, Prince George. Oh yes, Dr. Johnson, played by Robbie Coltrane.
Robbie Coltrane. Well, my goodness, just right in the dictionary, and Blackadder coming up with like made up words. Oh my goodness, it's so funny.
Yes, indubitably.
I'll try and remember it. He says, "Oh, I would like to offer the doctor my sincere contribularities." What?
Yeah. Blackadder's written a manuscript under the different name.
Yeah.
Prince George is to patron the dictionary.
Yeah. But the highlight is Rowan just trying to make up all these made up words, and they all sound so real, but they're actually not. And
they're pretty good words.
Asthmatic, even compunctious. So of course used pericombobulation. Yeah, I shall return. Atrophy elastically or something.
There's some
tongue silly. Yeah, it's great.
But then we get introduced to Mrs. Miggins because she was mentioned in second series. I think she's mentioned Mrs. Miggins, isn't she?
She is mentioned, but you never see her, and it's not until the third series that she suddenly appears. So maybe they had an idea for that. Yeah. Yeah, and then you see her show up and really bad teeth and yes, funny character.
Because she's got the writer character there, all being poncy.
Yes.
And then they've Baldric's burnt the wrong manuscript because they think the dictionary's been burnt, so they have to rewrite the dictionary overnight. So you start with aardvark, of course.
Yeah.
But there's no help from George and Baldric trying to help him with B and C.
Yeah. B and C, yeah. And D as well, yeah.
And then we get to Nob and Nobility, where the Scarlet Pimpernel is rescuing people from France, and then Blackadder thinks he can do better and tries to do the same.
Yes. Yeah, that's quite
That's the one with Tim McKinney is back with his dodgy French accent.
Yes.
A lot of makeup.
Yeah.
But then so Blackadder rescues him from France, only to turn out that he's the Scarlet Pimpernel, and he's gonna out Blackadder as a fraud. So Blackadder poisons him with his own suicide pill.
Yeah, I don't know what it is when people get poisoned. They just have to overact in a really silly way and just die the most, like, just fall over and just do these really nail it.
Yeah. But I forgot Nigel Plain is also a Pimpernel, isn't he? Or am I misremembering it now? Yeah. But then we get to Sense and Senility with the anarchists and the actors. Don't mention Macbeth.
Don't mention.
Yeah, got the two stupid actors, and the prince thinking bald.
What do you mean, Macbeth?
Anarchist. Refer to it as the Scottish play.
Yes, yeah. Never gets old.
The lousy proletariat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then Baldric overhears them practicing a play where they on about murdering the prince and grasses them up.
That's it.
Then we get on to Amy and amiability, which is the marriage. Yeah, so the Prince Regent needs to marry because he's broke, and that's when Miranda Richardson turns up as. And then the guy, what's the name of the guy there from up north? That's in everything.
Yeah, he was in Clockwork Orange. He was in that.
Yeah.
He was in, I forget his name, but he's been in a lot of stuff. Yeah, he's got one of those faces. Yeah, I forget his name. But it turns out they're broke as well.
Yes. But then she's a highwayman, and then she's got a price on her head, so Blackadder dobs her in.
Oh no!
Although she was going to kill him, but Baldric rescues him, doesn't he? Yeah, it turns up.
He does, yeah.
And then finally, Stephen Fry's back as Wellington. Tea!
Oh my goodness!
Who's totally abusing Hugh Laurie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just the way. Yeah, we sort of start to see, this was Wellington the ancestor of, General Melchett, maybe, sort of connection of him going like,
So yeah, the Prince Regent had slept with Lord Wellington's daughter because he thought Lord Wellington was away on whatever battles he was doing, but he's not. And then he threatened to kill anyone that slept with his daughter. So now Blackadder has to pretend to be the Prince Regent. And what does he get? Everything the Prince Regent owns, doesn't he? But then he'll be dead. But of course, he has a cunning plan.
Of course, yeah. Well, he doesn't know what you look like, and he doesn't know what you look like. So just. So then Melchett. Sorry.
Yeah. The Prince Regent brings the tea in, puts it down, and sits down. Sits down to have some tea with them.
Yeah. Butch up. Definitely one of Stephen's finest hours there. Yeah. The other line I love that he said, like, do you always have to shout? He goes, never. There's only one way to win a campaign. Shout, and shout again. So you're not sure if it's, inspired, talk or tactical ability that anything to do with it. No! All down to shouting.
But then, so Blackadder does, and it's a duel by cannons.
Swords? Only girls fight with swords. Yeah.
So Blackadder has to read the instructions and the countdown. So thank you for purchasing the latest edition cannon from so and so. First, load the back. Ready, fire! Boom. Blackadder buys it. So
he doesn't die.
No, this is the only out of the four, the only season he survives. So he hits his cigarello case.
Yes. So when the king shows up, he's like, "Hello, Daddy."
Yes.
It turns out the king's even more deluded than we ever thought. He doesn't even recognize him. So it's like, that's my
King
son.
George.
Yeah, that's it. So,
but yeah,
a good finale, yeah.
But Blackadder wins. Now, someone was missing from the lineup, who's in all other 3 seasons.
I think it was Rick, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, he'd fallen out with Ben Elton over
so he doesn't...
Filthy Rich and Cat Flap.
Okay, yes. Yeah, I think it was like creative differences or something. It was like, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Apparently, yeah.
So he didn't appear in this episode or season.
No.
Right, then we get to Blackadder goes forth. What was this, 89, I think? There's still no dates on this.
89, yeah. Yeah.
I remember this on telly and recording it and watching it a lot.
Same here, yeah. It's probably the first one I saw, I think, because I do sort of remember seeing bits and pieces of 1, 2, and 3, but I think 4 was the first one I saw all the way through. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And probably the one I've watched the most over the years. Yeah.
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 So set in 1917 in France on the front lines. So Captain Cook. So when General Haig and his new strategy to win the war was it to go up into no man's land and walk slowly across to the German lines
and paint pictures.
Oh yeah. So yeah, they need someone to go over into no man's land. Don't worry, they'll be lit up like a giant with a flare so that they can see everything. To make a painting of what they see for the next battle. So what would happen? What's he saying? What's the recommendations if you do stand on a landmine?
Oh, it's like no, Baldrick, I've just put my elbow on a blob of ice cream. God, yeah.
What you have to do is get thrown 40 feet in the air and spread yourself over a large area.
That's it, yeah. Right, sir. So, yeah.
They're firing, sir. They're firing.
Yeah, you should be sure to point that out, won't you?
So they decide to
oh my God,
fake the drawing because there might have been a few less elephants.
Yeah.
How do you know there's no elephants on the German sides? But yeah,
who knew?
Baldrick's been in all. Isn't he in all of them? Yeah, there's not an episode he's not in either. Meltit's in every episode this time. Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie's in every episode, isn't he? And Tim McKenney. Yeah, so I think they're all in all episodes now, aren't they?
Yes, this was when Tim said, "I'll come back if you give me someone else." And originally he was called something generic like Captain Cartwright, but then it felt a bit bland. And Stephen said, "Why don't we give him a name that's so I don't know, it could either work or it might not work." And someone just said Darling, and then it went from there. And next to me, Darling. Thank you, sir. It works.
It only works half the time, I think.
Yeah,
there are a few instances where it doesn't always work.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Tim at this point had developed a bit of a twitch because you can see his eyes sort of flickering throughout the whole series, and he was worried that it wasn't ever going to go away, but happily it did. But it sort of just became part of the character, but it wasn't sort of intentional. He thought a flickery eye like this would be good for the character, but he was actually suffering with a real twitch of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So he thought, he did the twitch, and then hang on. For some reason, my chat has stopped. Let me just check on that.
Okay. Yeah.
Been ignoring everyone. Sorry about that, everyone. Hang on, let me bring up my phone because let me have a look.
Yeah.
Who's those two handsome devils? Right. So there's Squirrel. Bang, dead. So we're still getting comments from the 3rd season. Hate squirrels. Sanford and Son, what a total disgrace that show was. America's often struggle with British humor, except the bloody Benny Hill couldn't stand him. That's Dr. Impossible. So because Steptoe Son was remade as Stanford and Son. Yeah, I've never seen that episode of that. Bob says I actually used to like the Benny Hill show, especially the 80s ones. The only thing I remember from the Benny Hill shows is the ladies in state of undress.
That's all I remember. Just him running around very fast, chasing ladies. That's all I remember of him.
It's
Yeah.
Dr. Impossible says Marty Feldman was great. He would have been a diamond in Blackadder. Feldman playing Scrot. Yeah, because his boggly eyes, he would have been a good one.
Yeah.
I think he must have. Yeah, he died quite early in the 80s, I think. Bob says, Bob. By the way, I should try and do a live stream doing ASMR. It's a big thing. Right now, you would have to whisper through and make noises in the microphone. I can't do that. And the Xmas special was terrible. And Nicola Bryant, with a stupid accent, threw me at the wall. Great shame. Which one's Nicola Bryant? Oh, is it the his niece?
I think I need to watch the Christmas special again. It's like, I
watch it every year.
Yeah, I try and watch it at least every year, but yeah. But it was like a very good take on the idea of, having him be nice, and then he turns out to be a grumpy old git by the end.
Yeah, that was great.
Do that. Yeah.
We'll get to that. So second episode is Corporal Punishment, where he eats the plump-breasted pigeon.
Breasted pigeon, yes. Yes, speckled Jim.
The Flanders pigeon murderer. And then he gets put in jail.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's Flanders pigeon murderer. Put in front of a firing squad. And then he gets a very fair trial.
Yeah. No, he doesn't. Yeah.
Hand me that black cloth, bailiff. I'll be needing that.
I just love the line where he just says, well, any reasonable judge is bound to let me off. Who is the judge, by the way? I'm dead. No chance.
Yeah. He's just done for straight away.
Oh, yeah.
But then, he gets to meet the firing squad. Ready, fire!
Oh, yeah, Steve Frost. Good old Steve Frost, yeah.
Yes, that's him. I know him from the Carlin Black Label adverts.
That's it, yeah. That's where that's when I first saw the episode. I was like, it's him from the beer advert. I know him.
Yeah, that's the thing I said as well. I know he's in a couple of episodes, an episode of Young Ones, but
yeah, they were saying that firing squads, they're like taxman. Like everyone hates us, but we're just doing our job every
Yeah, they even send a telegram to him at the start of the firing squad because Baldrick mixes up the letters.
Yeah.
But I don't know how, but he survived because he goes ready, aim, fire, and then it cuts to Hugh Laurie and Baldrick are having a hangover.
Oh yeah, they forgot to send the telegram to his uncle, who was the Minister of War. I think it is.
Yeah, that's it. Minister of War, who could get him off no trouble. That's it. Dr. Marshall says
George's uncle Rupert. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
I wonder how. Oh, the stupid hearts in there. I can't see. How well Blackadder did in China, if it ever got that far. Yeah, you don't like. I guess a lot of people outside the UK don't know it. Like Echo was saying, you didn't really know this show.
No, I think probably most of America might know it because of Rowan, because of Mr. Bean, the success of that. People would have seeked out other works of his. I know fans of House seeked it out, and they're literally shocked when they hear Hugh talking with his natural voice. And they think he's not American.
He's not.
Yeah.
Blast your boggly eyes, man.
Yeah. So I do feel that maybe at least with Rowan and Hugh, they've sort of helped it, get recognised by their other work that they've done that has been recognised by other regions.
Yeah. So then we get to Major Star with Gabrielle Glaister as Bob, Driver Parker.
Bob, yeah.
So, they have to put on a show. The slug balancer needs some work, but make a sparkly costume for the slug. And the three twerps are one twerp short again.
Yes. The joke being there's only 2 twerps. Yeah, it's really terrible.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Russians have joined the war.
Yep.
And then Charlie Chaplin impression by Baldwin. Yeah, the slug balancer seems to be doing some impression of Buster Keaton. And then so Hugh Laurie in drag being I can't remember the name of the character.
Or just Georgina.
That's and Melchett becomes infatuated, and they go out on a date. I've got some bad news about your fiance, sir. Oh my God, she's not Welsh, is she?
Yeah. She had to be killed off. She had to be killed off.
Yeah, in a day she went out into no man's land across the minefield. Well, more of a cluster of mines she hit. Oh well, can't be helped.
Can't be helped. Just forget about it straight away. Oh, jeez.
Well, yeah, thank you, Bob. Not so quiet, isn't it? It's too highbrow, apparently. Blackadder for some of the people. My favourite episode might be Private Play with Rick Mail as Lord Flasher, Adrian Edmondson as Baron von Richthofen, and then
my goodness, definitely a standout. Just Rick coming on in that costume and just giving it everything. Just what a performance, and he just steals that episode completely. It's wonderful. It really is. Yeah.
You said noble friars were in trouble. If I'd have meant old Slackbladder and the Mound of the Hound of the Baskerville, I wouldn't have bothered.
And it was great to see, Rick and Aid back on screen together. But this time, Rick was the more superior character compared to Aid. Because normally it's that way around. Rick always gets, beaten up by Aid, and he's always, the virgin and the sort of, the nerdy one that no one likes. But in this case, Rick's the tougher one, the better looking one, and he just outclasses him. And just shoots him point blank. What a
and let's get out of here. Woof.
And then it ends with that perfect scene where he confronts Tim, just like Captain Darling. Funny name for a guy, isn't it? Last person I called Darling was pregnant 20 seconds later.
It's
great. And he just gives Tim another. He just gives Tim another fucking headbutt. And then it just ends perfectly when he grabs Bobby and says, like woof, then you just get.
You want something? Take it.
Perfect.
Bob, I want something.
And it's just over. Yeah.
But the 20 minutes is because that's the amount of time they spend in the air, or is it?
Life expectancy of 20 minutes, which is quite a horrifying statistic when you think about it.
Because it's quite true, I think.
It was quite true. Yes, it was a known thing that if you were to sort of become a pilot, you ain't going to last long. Yeah.
There wasn't many people around to teach you. Just 6 months of very dull men looking at machinery. Right, then we get to.
But that's really a standout.
Yeah,
possibly
I think
probably my favorite out of all of it. Very close. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a great idea. And then we get to General Hospital where Miranda Richards is back. Bill Wallace is Mr. Smith, trying to winkle out the spies.
Yes, because the actor who plays Smith, he appeared in the second series.
Yeah, who was he?
He was in the episode when Blackadder's trying to. He's got the hood on his head. He's got the one arm and the one leg. He's one of the people in the prison.
Oh yeah,
same actor,
Ploppy.
Sure it is. Yeah.
She's a Ploppy too, sir. We had such a laugh when he first turned up and he said, "I'm a Ploppy too, but we're not related."
No. But you can barely recognise him because he's got the big thing over his face. He's got a big sort of bruise on his face. And he's got a silly accent. He's wobbling around like this. He's like, meat. He's just he's not the
German spy.
But yeah, he's been undercover in Germany for so long that he has picked up a tinsy bit of an accent. Right, yeah.
What's he melted our spies, looking after the German spies. What's he call them? Filthy Hun spies.
Filthy Hun weasel.
Yes.
Yeah, filthy Hun weasels. Yeah.
And then our guys, brave fellows, risky all for
brave heroes. Yeah, slag off the bad ones, but no, our spies.
Yes. Dr. Impossible. What films do you think took inspiration from Blackadder? That's a good point. I'm trying to think.
I don't know actually.
No, I'm trying to think if any did. They should have.
I don't recall Richard or Rowan ever mentioned that they were inspired by something. I think the main reason for doing Blackadder was to try and create something better than 40 Towers. That was the sort of reason for doing it.
That was the opposite, isn't it? Nothing like
can we make it better? And also nothing like it as well. That was like their rule. We've got to do something that's better, but not the same. Yeah.
Imagine people doing that now.
Yeah. No chance.
Honorable mention from Bob McCall. Bottom was the funniest thing ever. Absolute classic. Yeah.
Yes.
Once we get through the 80s, we got the 90s to go. So there, yeah. So
that'd be the next.
But who turns out to be the spy in that one? Because they get Nurse Mary in front of the firing squad.
Yes, Mary. Yeah. Well, it turns out it was George. He was writing letters to his German uncle. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Sausage breath. No, is it? What's he called? Melchett? Described
Walrus face bullshit. Smelly.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
My suspicions were out, which you couldn't name. Actually, the odd one out of the universities: Oxford, Cambridge, and Hull.
Yeah. Yes, Oxford's a complete dump. Yeah.
And unfortunately, then we get to the final episode, which is very sad indeed.
It is very sad, yes. Like, even as a kid, I sort of really, it took me back and realizing that, yeah, this is a comedy show, but this is what, this whole First World War is about. It was a senseless war, and, a lot of people died, and, it was a quite fitting end, to be honest. It's because they do explain on the retrospective of how that ending was put together, because they had it all pretty much in the can. They filmed everything, and then they had to do like the final scene of them going over the top, and they had like a few minutes to get it in because they would shut off the power at like a certain time for the studio.
Yeah, the BBC shut the power for 10 o'clock at night, regardless of what you're doing.
Something like that, yeah. And then they do this scene, they run over the top. Yeah. They set off a few squibs and a few sort of, poppers, and they sort of stand there, and it's all really awkward. And
that's really stupid. I don't.
Yeah,
they're supposed to be shot, but Blackadder survives by playing dead, apparently, or something.
Yeah. And on the retrospective, you can see like John Lloyd, the producer, and also Rowan like reacting to it. And there's this one shot of Rowan where he's just on the floor thinking, "What the hell am I doing? This is just not how we wanted this to end." You can really see it. It's like. And then they were like, well, we've now got this, great series, but we've got a crummy ending. What are we going to do? And then they went to like the editor and said, is there any way we can salvage this? And he thought, well, I don't know how he came up with the idea, but he said, let's just slow it down frame by frame by frame. And then we can slow down the audio and the sound design and, put some sort of piano music in there and make it a bit somber. And it flipping worked. What an ending. Perfect. And then it is really superb, yeah. And then someone else had the idea of fading to a poppy field as well, which again was a very fitting end. Like, there's no end credits; it just fades to that shot of the poppy field, and cut and print, And it's almost the perfect way to end it, really. In a somber way, but a very fitting way.
Yeah, because everyone was worried about setting in World War I and people's reaction to making a comedy, but then they all changed their minds once they saw that ending.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And I think that was the right ending. I mean, they could have ended it a bit more jolly, but at the end of it, it's like, when they sort of realise the guns stop and they're like saying, we lived through the Great War, 1914 to 1917.
Yeah.
And it's like, they didn't. It's like, yeah. Because there is that famous meme going around now of people saying, "I can't believe he didn't cry during Titanic," and then just shows a picture of this lot standing about to go over the top. It's like, yeah, no, we cried at Blackadder. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
a very fitting end. Yes.
There's some truth in it with the well, Hugh Laurie says about he and his group of men went to the office to sign up, and he was the only one left.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
people from the pub or village used to sign up and go. No, they'll never come back.
Yeah, it was like, so, yeah, the scene was sort of played. You know, like we were off to Hammer the Bosch, and we were playing Tiddlywinks in the queue, and and how are all the boys now? Well, he bought it. He was killed here, and then he realised I'm the only one left, and it's like, wow. So, yeah,
really powerful stuff. Dr. Impossible. What do you two think of Nighty Night? I haven't seen Nighty Night in ages. That was about 25 years ago, wasn't it? With Rob, Welsh comedian. That's with Steve Coogan in a show now. They do stuff together. He was in, it was a one-off season they did called Nighty Night, but Bob McCall doesn't like it. I remember liking it when it came out, but I haven't seen it since. But the Mighty Boosh, to me was total crap. Never laughed once. Yeah, I never watched Mighty Boosh either. You ever get into that?
Never got into that. I like Noel Fielding, but I never got into that show. No, I never saw.
No, I watched bits of it, but yeah, it wasn't for me. Yeah, right. So then we get on to what was the first one? Oh, Cavalier Years was the done around.
That was the Comic Relief special.
Yeah,
between 3 and 4, yes, and it's a 15-minute sketch of Stephen Fry playing Charles I before his impending beheading, and Blackadder is kind of the one that probably ended up chopping his head off anyway, and just a really funny one-off. That's all it is. Yeah,
it's pretty good. I enjoyed it because was it Stephen Fry doing an impression of Prince Charles from the 80s, of course.
Yes.
Who's now King Charles?
Well, I would like to do this, but I don't. It's pretty weird.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was. You can tell it was done in the right time because there was some of the sets were obviously from Blackadder the third.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I don't know if is that on that box set. You said it was, wasn't it?
It is on the box set. Yeah. Yeah, it's on this one. Yes.
Then we got Blackadder's Christmas Carol by Ben Dick.
Yeah.
Ben and Dick. Oh yes, Richard. So I get it now.
Yeah.
Filmed entirely on location in Barbados, Kenya, and New Zealand.
Yeah. Your show's made it when you get.
Yeah. Doesn't say what year it was, but I'm guessing was it after it goes forth?
No, I think it was before. It must have been before it. Let me just check.
Yeah. It's 43 minutes, and it is a reverse of Charles Dickens's Christmas Carol, where Blackadder's a good guy, and then realizes if he was bad, his family would be better off.
Yeah. It was 88, so just before the fourth series. Yeah. 88. Right.
Yeah. Virtually all the best comedy writers are dead. No one really knows how to write quality comedy today. Yes. Dr. Impossible, and Bob McCall says that's because comedy doesn't exist anymore. Oh dear. The truth is coming out now. Sadly true. I don't offend anyone.
It's still out there, but there's a whole new generation that don't like it, and we're not allowed to say it. Basically, I would say comedy's there, but you've just got to go and find it.
Well, yes. If it's not a 15-second TikTok, it's not funny.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. I think people's attention spans have really lowered. Yeah, they really have.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So who we got? Robbie Coltrane's back again. What was he in?
Yeah.
He was in which season? Third one, as the
third season. Yeah.
Dictionary. Miriam Margolis is in it again.
Yes.
So Queen's in it. Oh yeah, because he goes back to Blackadder 2, doesn't he? And 3.
Basically, yeah.
And yeah, Lord Nelson. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think now. Mrs. Scratchit, yeah, because and then all the kids are fat kids as well, so and then everyone comes and ruins his Christmas. But then the ghost comes, who's in the wrong house. He tells him his stories of his family, and then if he carries on being good, he'll be wearing Baldrick's posing pouch in the future. And being Baldrick's assistant. Or if he's bad, he'll become ruler of the universe. Which one's he going to take?
But yeah, it was quite impressive that they brought sort of Miranda back to be in that full costume again, to actually get the costume right again was quite impressive, because normally it's not easy to get the look again. Yeah.
Dr. Impossible was, don't offend anyone and just behave like total loons. Yeah. That's true. What's the other specials?
Yeah.
I think the last one is this one, isn't it? Back and Forth.
Back and Forth, yes. Yeah.
This is a movie.
The Millennium Special.
Yeah. It's over an hour long.
I think it's sort of cost as a movie.
Yes.
Over an hour, just over, yeah.
There's a lot of cut out if you watch the documentary.
There is, yeah. I'm surprised how much was left on the cutting room floor. But yeah, for some reason, I remember this wasn't originally on BBC. It was on Sky One originally.
Yeah, I was just going to... There's a Sky advert inside the VHS. Yeah. So I don't know who had the rights.
Because on the because on the DVD here, I mean, it's got like the BBC written down, but you can see where is it? Yeah, you can see the Sky One logo there as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've got obviously, because I think it was done through Tiger Aspect, which I'm guessing is Richard Curtis's studio, I guess, or his production company.
Production company, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's one I was.
Yeah, because because it's that's part of Blackadder, Mr. Bean, and the Thin Blue Line, and anything that Richard Curtis has done. I think that's his,
I forgot about the Thin Blue Line. So all the favourites are back, and special appearance by Colin Firth as William Shakespeare, Rick Mayall as Robin Hood, and Kate Moss as Maid Marian.
That's it. Yeah.
Now, there's only bits of this that I enjoyed when I watched it the other day. It's definitely not.
I have to say, it's probably not the best. Yeah, it's not the best one, but it was nice that everyone came back for such.
Yeah, it was 10 years later, so it was nice they all came back.
Yeah, because people forget how important the Millennium was, and it's a real big deal. And for them to come back for such an important point in history, I suppose it made sense to just go all out and just do one more big idea, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So the story is it's New Year's Eve 1990. Lord Edmund Blackadder and his friends have gathered round to have a dinner on the evening, and then Blackadder says he's invented a time machine based off this. Whose idea was it? He stole the blueprint or whatever it was. I can't remember.
Was it Thomas Edison or something? Or...
That's it, someone like that, isn't it? Yeah.
Edison?
So
yeah,
and then he says, "Give me some ideas of what you want me to collect. I'll go back in time and bring them to you." And then we find out it's Baldrick just going down in the basement and finding stuff that they can pretend. But then, of course, Baldrick has accidentally made a real time machine.
Unfortunately, and then all hell breaks loose, and they end up going back and forth, as it says.
Yeah, as it says.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not a bad idea. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
but then they go to the Jurassic times with a dinosaur head and leg attacks the ship because that was the budget.
Yes,
and they kill the dinosaurs, which of course changes time.
Yes.
Yeah, and they can't get back because they can't remember how to. Baldrick hadn't written the dials out because he had to use a felt pen to mark the dials for the time controls, but he hasn't done that.
Something like that. Something really primitive. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then they visit. Was it the Romans?
Yeah.
And then they got the Scottish attacking them on Hadrian's Wall. Hello, Nos. How are you?
Yeah.
So the comments aren't working, Nos, unfortunately. So I have to pick them off my phone. Yeah. So then there's the Scottish attack where they used real Scots people in the battle when they filmed it.
They did, yeah.
A lot of ginger people that spent too much time out in the sunshine that day. And then where's it go? Robin Hood, where Rick Mail is Robin Hood, pretending to be, well, I guess, Lord Flashart style.
It's kind of flash art hood, you can call it that, or
there you go, that's perfect. And then of course he's got Kate Moss.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
Quite lucky. But then Blackadder steals him away because he says, yeah, you're all living in poverty in the woods, robbing the rich, and then just giving it to the poor who say, oh, we don't have to work today. Robin Hood will just give us some money.
Yeah. That's definitely a highlight of that episode. Yeah, Rick showing up again.
Yeah. And Will Scarlet. Yeah. And then, was it the Napoleon Wars they go to? And he kills
That's it, yeah.
Stephen Fry if I drop in the time machine on him just before the battle's about to be won.
That's it, yeah. That's it, yeah.
But yeah, it's only 60 minutes, but yeah, there's a lot cut out, and you can see why in some of that documentary.
Yeah, I think it was wise for them to just do like a one-off rather than like another series. Like if we just do like one more big idea and then leave it there. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
the right way to go.
After the fourth one, well, and still they keep saying, "When's the fifth season? When's the fifth season coming out?" And there's, I think, is that the last? Apart from a few Children in Need sketches, I think that's about it now, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any more intention to do it. And even on the retrospective, like Tony says to Tim, like, would you do another one? And Tim was like, no. He pretty much flat out said no. And he's like, well, why not? He said, we're too old. No one wants to see us like this. It's like, it's a bit of a maybe too honest answer, but he is kind of right. It's like, we don't want to see these characters like degrade. We've already seen Disney do that with Star Wars. I mean, do we really want these beloved characters to get punished? I mean, it's like, yeah.
Yeah,
it had its time. It lasted as long as it should have.
Yeah,
because there's so many other sitcoms that keep coming back and not as strong as they once were. The fact that it is a very sort of short run of 4 series and a few specials, I think it's as good as you're going to get, and it's a nice length to have it. Yeah, not too much.
Because there was an idea for season 5, which would have been in 60s America.
There is. Yeah,
but they couldn't get the ideas out off the ground for that.
Yeah, Tony was going to be a drummer that's called Bald Rick. Like he's actually got like a mullet, but he's actually got a bald head, sort of thing. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I guess there was very few. Yeah, it was going to be around hippies and stuff like that in America. So
something like that, yeah, which probably could have worked. I'm like, if they did it, not long after the 4th series, maybe it could have worked. But obviously, they felt the idea probably wasn't worth it. Because once this finished, I think once the 4th series finished, Richard and Rowan went off to do Mr. Bean after that. Like, I think the first episode was not long after that 4th Blackadder finished. Yeah.
I can see it. Maid Marian and the Merry Men. That was a good show.
Yeah.
And Danny John.
Yeah, Tony was in
Danny
that.
John Jules.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. I forgot about that show.
Girl boss, Maid Marian.
That's it. Yeah. I haven't seen that in ages. Yeah.
No.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I think there was another idea for season 5 where it was going to be the Second World War, but in a prisoner of war camp. So that was probably pushing it a bit too far.
Maybe. I mean, like I said, you've already done a war series. Do we really need another one? Yeah, because Yeah. I'm sure they had a lot of creative reasons to not do it. Yeah. But like I said, I'm just glad. I'm glad there's no more, and we've just got as amount have we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I guess what is it? 4 6s are 24. So you've got 24 episodes plus a lost pilot, the Christmas special, and a 1-hour movie. So yeah. It did quite well.
More than enough, yeah. And I think in terms of the cast themselves, they've all gone on to bigger and better things. Like, I think everyone's done well out of it as well.
Oh yeah.
Like Rowan went off and did Mr. Bean after that. Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie, they did a bit more of their comedy show for a bit. They did a bit of Fry and Laurie, and they did
Fry and Laurie.
Jeeves and Worcester. Yeah. Tony has done. He's been doing Time Team. That's been very successful. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've all also there was another. Yeah. I'm just trying. What was that show that Tony did on BBC? It was when he would talk about animation. Was it called Stay Tuned? I think he used to do. Yeah, on BBC, and he would be exploring animation. No, it was kind of like a documentary series where he was talking about animation, and they would talk about Disney and Looney Tunes and all that, and it was like a sort of you might be able to find some episodes on YouTube, but he was presenting it. That was the other thing I remember being. And Tim he's done multiple. He's been in multiple shows, because funny enough, Rick Mail talks very fondly of Tim. Yeah. I forget which interview it was. Like, Rick referred to Tim as the 3 best actors. Tim McInerney. Tim McInerney, 3 actors playing 1. Yeah. And he said, him playing Darling was probably the only time he really laughed and really admired someone for doing a role. Yeah.
Nice. Dr. Impossible says, Time Team with that miserable git from Somersetshire with the hat. I never really watched Time Team. I think I watched the first episode because I thought it was a comedy.
Yeah. But no, it's actually it's been a very successful series. It's been running for years, and and it's not everyone's cup of tea. It's not everyone's sort of favorite hobby, but again, Tony's done very well out of it. So and it's probably something he's very passionate about.
Yeah. I think what's Rowan doing? He's done Mr. Bean. He's done that B thing. Doing the Johnny English.
Yeah.
So,
he did Thin Blue Line in the 90s.
Thin Blue Line.
Yeah. And just trying to think what else.
I was thinking, never say never again.
Most of it, I think he's just. Oh yeah, let's not say. I think a lot of the time now, I think Rowan's pretty much just living off the royalties now. I think because he doesn't really do much. He hasn't really done much recently.
No,
so I know he likes his cars. He
likes,
that's really his main passion.
Yeah,
he does cars. Yeah. Stephen, he's done. Obviously, he had QI for a number of years. He was doing that as well. Yeah, presenting that show. Yeah.
Yeah,
and of course Hugh did House. I mean, that made him a superstar, didn't it? Yeah,
it did.
Yeah,
that was a good series. Yeah, he's done a few films since.
I would like to watch all of that. Yeah, I would like to watch that all the way through. I've seen multiple episodes, but I've never actually watched it all the way through. I do need to get that box set. I wouldn't mind seeing the whole thing.
Yeah, because I used to watch it when it was on, but then I might have missed a few episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, don't forget the Barclay card ads with Boff. Thank you, Bob.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you shut up about Boff? Yeah.
Yeah. So he was in a Bond film, made a spoof of Bond film, made a spoof of Bond ads.
Yeah, because the Barclay card adverts, I think, were the origins of Johnny English, wasn't it? Really?
Pretty much, yeah.
I think.
I guess.
Yeah.
It wasn't named in it, so he could call him whatever he liked, couldn't
he? Yeah.
Kate Bush. This woman's work with him.
Yeah. I don't think the Thin Blue Line was connected to anything previously. I think that was like its own new thing that they created later on. Yeah. I don't think there was any origins of that. Yeah.
I think so. Let me check my notes. Where am I up?
Yep.
I think that's it for my notes. I don't know if you've got any more to add.
Yeah. I mean, really, I really like the fact that it's never been off air. It's always been rerun. It's always been reshown. It's never really gone out of the public domain. Like, it still does very well every time it's on television. People still talk about it. Everyone quotes it, and it just shows how good that writing really was. And and I think we said at the start, I'm still very fond of that first series. It really is a weird oddity. It's not perfect, but I just love the grittiness and the real sort of dark humor in that first one. It's quite crazy. And as we said before, it's a real shame Brian Blessed didn't come back for any more series, because him being King Richard IV, I mean, he really chewed up the scene when.
Never remembers who Edmund is.
Yeah, he said, "Who's that?" "That's your son, Edmund." And he's like, "Edmund." And there's that really good scene where he keeps getting news from the messengers. He's like, "Good news, what? Good news." And then he's like, "Wessex is dead." "Oh, This news is not so good. Bring me some other news. Yeah.
Yeah,
Great, yeah.
he's just great in that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying this.
And
I'm
just trying to remember the all the actors that were in the final episode of the first series. Yeah, when he was trying to seek out the 6 most evil men in history, and
yes,
he had like Jack Large, who was the little midget. He had the evil monk as well, and
yeah,
he had who was the I forget his name, the guy who did the narration for the first series.
Yes,
what's his name?
Very famous voice actor.
Yes, hang on, let me find it. What was his name? Come on, IMDb, where are you? So,
tick 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 tock.
Patrick Allen, that's it. Yes,
that's him. I only saw him about
and he shows up at the very end. Yeah. He shows up right at the very end as the Hawk. But as with everyone else, he dies as well. They all die from the poison. Yeah, it's like they all die.
Yeah, classic series. But yeah, so what was it? 4 seasons in about 9 years, and then the last proper thing was in 1999. Yeah, so it's been 23 years. Bloody hell!
Overall, yeah. So, like we said, this is an 80s show, but they're not set in the 80s.
It's because other stuff I can remember it being old, but not so much. But that lost was it this year that last episode was played? Or was it last year?
No, it's definitely this year. It was literally a few weeks ago it premiered. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was later now.
Yeah, it was very recently merged. Yeah.
Rowan wasn't part of the that special.
No, he wasn't. No, they didn't interview. I mean, Tony showed up. Richard Curtis was there, and I think that was it.
I think that was it. I was trying to think.
Yeah.
Kay Stanton.
Yeah. So I don't know whether Rowan's just not very keen on it, or he was busy, or just couldn't be bothered. I don't know. But
because they had that Q&A after, and it's just stupid people asking, "When's the 5th season coming out?"
Yeah. Well, never. It doesn't need to come. Yeah.
No,
it doesn't need to come. No.
Dr. Boss says McKinney played Kate Bush's husband in the music video. It was a great song. The Woman's Work. There you go. That's going back a bit then.
In fact, now you mention it, I do remember Hugh showing up in a Kate Bush music video. It was in Experiment 4. I think he shows up in that.
Ah, yes, I remember. Walking on Broken Glass. That's the other one I remember. Was he in that?
I can't remember, but I remember Experiment 4. That one. Yeah. Because the song's based on the military experimenting with sound that might kill you if you hear the sound. And he's one of the doctors in a white coat. And it's a really sort of surreal music video. But he's one of the doctors in that, and you just see him react to this entity that comes up when they play a sound. And quite ambitious. Yeah. Well, most of Kate Bush's work is very ambitious and quite something else, I'd say. Yeah.
So they stole that idea for Biggles. Right, there he is, Hugh Laurie. What's he known for? House, apparently. I'm trying to think what I saw him in. Spice World, the movie. Yes. Kate Bush Experiment 4, so I can't see the one I was trying to think of. So it wasn't him. Yeah. Oh, no, there is. Annie Laugh, Walking on Broken Glass music video. That's it.
Oh, okay.
I can rest easy now.
And I've just remembered Dawn French was in Experiment 4 as well.
Okay.
In that one.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's odd that she wasn't in Blackadder or the other one, French and Saunders.
No, Jennifer and Dawn weren't in that. No, you think they might have done because they were sort of in that crowd of, actors and, group and friends and stuff. So, amazingly, they didn't. No. Yeah, like I said, the main woman was probably Miranda. She was really the one that showed up the most, and probably had the most screen time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, on that, we will leave it for now. you've had your 90 minutes.
Sure thing. Yeah.
So thanks everyone. Welcome Stanton and G-Man. Thanks for Bob and Doctor Impossible and Nos.
Bob.
And then what is it next time? Quantum Leap, isn't it?
Quantum Leap, we can do that. Yes, yeah. Again, technically, it started in the 80s. It's mainly a 90s show, but the pilot was in the 80s, and it will be another show that is not. Yeah. Even though there are some episodes that do take place in early 80s. I think there's like a few leaps in 1980, 81. So it counts. It counts.
It counts. It was we cheated with Baywatch sort of because that started in the 80s.
Yeah.
So we can do our show. We can do what we like. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining us.
Quantum Leap. Yeah.
Yeah, I better get cracking watching it then. All right. All right. Thanks everyone for joining.